from...
I honestly don't think we're gonna have a problem doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
We have to have a plan in place so that they see the goal we're trying to reach.
My point is, what we're using now evidently is not the permanent.
No, it's not.
And at some point, we've got to make a decision on what is our permanent.
But they did a design of what our permanent solution was, and do we want to work toward that design, or are we going to do something else?
And that's what we'll bring, like I said, we're gonna have another meeting with Todd before March 8th.
He has to wait till March 8th because he's got some issues that he can,
So we're,
have answers for.
The whole issue is infrastructure on the original plan. But if we were going to do the three things that were in that original plan, we're going to have to deal with infrastructure anyway. So it's not like you can say, well, we're going to save money on infrastructure if we're going to do it anyway eventually.
Yeah, because the buildings
My
are using...
deal with that is I don't know where you want the dog pound, right? If you're gonna do the whole deal, I still don't know that you want the dog
That's a
pound.
temporary Band-Aid, it's not a...
Well, the community center was way to the left.
That's all the nicer,
It's to the right.
it can be a metal building, but if you build a new complex, I'm assuming it would look nicer than what we can do for a animal shelter, I guess is my thought.
I think, well, like I said, we'll,
To where that doesn't affect.
Have you seen the plan that they had?
Where
In
at?
a long time.
We're at the community, at the event center?
no, talking about over on Meandering. There's
On the
about
other-
11 acres that about 4 or 5 years ago, we had engineering and all sorts of stuff drawn up to look at potentially building multiple city buildings at that complex, or at that location. And so we've got the plan. I mean, it's-
We have storage for the equipment, we have the community center, and we have animal control. So there would be a separation between the community center. The use of the property they donated to us.
Well, like I said, I don't, go ahead.
So what happened with that? How come it, I mean, are we in the progress, or?
We can, some of that will tie into an exec.
Okay.
And like I said, that is coming back on March 8th, so we'll get into the weeds on that. Yes, ma'am?
Maybe I'm out of sync, I just got here a few minutes ago, but when we were talking about, we're 3 officers short, and we can stop talking about it and skip to animals. I mean, I'm not saying they're unimportant, I love them, and something needs to be done, but do we have a plan for what we're going to do? I mean, this is not just going to go.
We did a bonus.
Talked about that already.
We 2 or 3 meetings ago, we did authorize raising the entry-level pay.
We're really across the board.
Well, yeah, across the board, but specifically to try to get, not just to reward our people, but to get better, to get some applicants, so yes.
I'm sorry.
And I agree.
Brought up is what he's saying.
I do agree we need to do something, we need to put a plan out, whether that's marketing or whether it's a way to squeeze out of a budget that has nothing to squeeze, I don't know.
There you go.
Exactly.
Mark and I spend hours going over things, trying to come up with ways to do this. I'd take an hour telling you the different things. We go to the different academies, we put out flyers, we advertise on social media, we try to appeal to people. We've even looked at maybe paying them and putting them in the academy, but the risk and reward is just so detrimental in that area. You've got a smaller city right next to us, starting their own.
Make it more, yeah.
57,000.
Do other cities pay for them to go to the academy?
There are a lot of agencies that will do that. You're talking a 6-month, 8-month investment.
No, I know, I just wondered if they did.
There are a large number of agencies that do that.
Okay.
A lot of smaller.
Not that I'm saying we should, I just wondered if they do.
I remember seeing a story years ago about police and fire both, where Dallas and Fort Worth, being the 2 largest cities, they were having troubles with training people going there and getting trained, and then smaller places like River Oaks, instead of investing in training, they just pay more money to lure them over after they got them trained. And that was, I don't know.
Or we give them a...
I don't know if they did something to address that, but I know that was an issue in the past.
Well, it's not, they don't have to pay for it.
Fort Worth's down probably 600 offers.
Yeah, Dallas, they can't agree how many they're down, 1,000, something like that, 800?
So percentage-wise, we're probably in with the others, but
You know, the thing we offer here is that they don't, you got your own car. You're not sharing your car with somebody else. I think we're in a safer area. That's right. And we y'all deal with crimes these other cities aren't dealing with. I'm not gonna be specific about it, but what I know about, that these other cities aren't even dealing with. They're just writing it notebook.
he's saying there's young officers, they want the thrill, right?
If you work as a police officer in the city of Roach, you're gonna get experience from A to Z.
I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's not like over in Garland and Dallas.
It's a busy little town, but it's safe. It's safe.
I agree 100%.
I love it.
It's gonna ultimately reach a point where the services the city provides are going to have to be assessed to determine what is necessary and what is not necessary, and we're going to have to look at that as a whole and save money in areas that are not deemed as necessary and put the money into places that are deemed essential.
Yeah.
That's the bottom
That's
line.
what you do, you take a board and write down, what does the city have to have? Well, the first thing it has to have is safety, law enforcement. That's number one, it has to have that. More important than the roads, more important than,
Water? No.
Well, police, fire, and water, I mean.
how many officers do you have? Not including you?
17. Well, we have -3.
Okay, so you have room for 17, but we only have 50. No,
14.
I can't remember, so I deal with millions on a daily.
And in counting me, we were out today chasing, I end up on the street. It does count me. I'm working chief,
When you say the small town, you're talking about Westworth?
Yes.
Sampson Park.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah,
Both of them,
they
yeah.
assist us immensely.
yeah,
Yeah.
So Sampson Park does 57 entry,
Yes.
what do we offer?
Right now, my guys are coming in at 48.
And what does Westworth do?
I want to say they're in the 60s. I don't have the paperwork in front of me right now.
Yeah, you just gave that.
He was using an example with me the other day, a month ago maybe, about somebody that was at 70,000. He said, they're not hiring either, they're not getting anybody either, so it's not.
It's a bad time to be a police
It's more deeper than just the money. The money's gonna get the few that are
I
applying.
think if we up that, we're still gonna have an issue trying to recruit people over here, because it's just a
It's a
hard time.
societal thing right now.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for is attrition. I've got an officer that's an excellent officer that's making 53, 54, I think, that can go right now today and make 70 walking in,
Yeah.
easy.
Choose a sponsor though.
And we expect A-plus service from our officers. I'm not going, even though we're in the situation we are, the citizens and the administration, we expect A-plus service with a lower grade to offer to them. And it's a work in progress. It's a team
It's so
effort.
different, because when I started here in '85, I remember having to give, when I was given the test, the entrance test, we'd have one open, we'd have 60 or 70 people apply, ready to go to work.
We filled up, when I tested here in '95,
We
we
had to
filled
give
up
2
the
tests,
Lions Club.
but we didn't have room big enough to have everybody in there. Now you're lucky, well, like him now, he's not getting anybody, but I had the same problem when I was chief. Very rarely were we always up to staff. It seemed like you get one in, well, one will leave. And it was a constant deal.
I wonder with this current environment, have you looked in to see some of these associations and all that? Is there something that can be done as all police associations as a whole? Something that can be done to try to
Honestly,
change the mindset?
They're all fighting for the same guys.
I understand, but I'm saying it's almost like some of that money needs to be combined and doing some kind of marketing or something to get away from some of this
All the
negativity.
decline in that one when 9/11 happened, is you had a lot of people that normally would go into police and fire work, were going into the military.
Sure.
And going to the federal jobs. And that took a big part of your pool that you normally would have recruited from, and we've never recovered from that. It's not just this city, every city. And I bet no one in Tarrant County is full staff.
Right.
And everyone they're sniping they're making them officers, they're going on calls and they're saying, hey man, I can pay you hey man, come over here, we do half the work, we'll pay you $10,000 more.
Plus you add the